Hey guys, welcome to this very interesting MPG test, and that is because me and Tommy are heading to Moab for the annual Easter Jeep Safari. Isn't that right, Tommy?
Yeah, and we are in the new Ford F-150 Raptor R, the 5.2-liter supercharged beast, and we thought it'd be fun to try a real-world MPG loop.
Yeah, we're going to drive 200 miles from here in Frisco, Colorado, actually Silverthorne, all the way to Moab. And my question, Tommy, is, does this get better or worse fuel economy than the TRX? Because the TRX in our testing got about 12.7, if I remember right.
Well, currently, as you can see over the last couple thousand miles, the truck has been averaging 10.8, which is not superb. And in this test, we're going to drive from the high country here in Colorado to Moab, Utah. We've got a mountain pass to go up, but then, of course, we get to go down the other side, and we're going to see what's the highway MPG test. Now, this isn't like a super scientific out and back. This is just going to be a real-world experience, bringing you guys along on the adventure.
Actually, I didn't tell you this, but when I got gas last time, I reset it.
Oh.
So this is drag racing and going up basically to the Eisenhower Tunnel.
Oh, well, I've been fooled here.
You have been fooled.
So maybe it'll do 25. Well, we're going to find out. So we are out here at our official fuel sponsor, Sinclair. Sinclair has a bunch of great advantages when it comes to filling up your vehicle. They use Dyno Care in their fuel to assist in vehicle performance, and of course you can use the Dyno Pay app to help save you money, which is a really fantastic thing. So if you're on a road trip or just cruising around town, you gotta check out Sinclair with Dyno Care and Dyno Pay. So Dad, we're gonna do the official 2-click method. You're gonna have to use the expensive fuel in this beast, the full 91 octane.
Yeah, I don't think I can use 85 because this engine, which is out of the GT500, 700 horsepower, supercharged horsepower, of course, calls for the most expensive fuel. And look how much we're paying here.
Well, we are paying for 19.
That's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, and for all of you wondering, why is there no 93? Well, here at Elevation in Colorado, the highest octane you can get typically is 91. And of course, the higher the octane rating, the less your engine is going to ping, right? Or pre-detonate, but Elevation actually reduces that factor. So we're gonna do the 2-click method, fill up the fuel tank all the way. We're gonna let it go to a click, stop for 30 seconds, let it click again, and do the same procedure, filling it up.
And here's something interesting. Did you know we're at about 8,000 feet above sea level? 91 actually acts like 93 up here.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get for, but of course my description wasn't very good. But let's do this, Dad. We're going to do the fill up here, nothing much to see, and then we're going to cut to the highway.
It's raining on our brand new truck.
I know.
What's up with that?
We're going to cut to the highway, get some driving impressions, and then we'll come back at the end of this video.
Yeah, and if you guys want to know what this guy is like off-road, I think we're going to do some off-road reviews when we get to Moab, and we just did a POV that you can check out at alltfl.com. Why is it raining on our new truck, Tommy? This is not making me happy.
All right, well, let's cut to the highway.
All right.
All right, so we're about to hit the road here, and let's talk about what we're going to do. So I think we go into 4-wheel drive auto for this test.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
And then let's make sure we're in the right drive mode. We're just going to leave it into normal drive mode there. And the reason we're going 4-wheel drive auto is they still have a ton of snow up here, and there might be some slush on the roadways, although it mostly is kind of melted and just turned into some wet. But going west on Interstate 70.
Yeah, the cool thing about this truck, Tommy, is that it's got different exhaust notes, and we showed that in some of the other videos. But on the way back, we're going to be towing a 7,000 pound trailer, actually camper. And what I've noticed on some trucks is when you're especially pulling weight, that exhaust note that sounds magnificent when you're drag racing can get a little droney when you're towing, right, over a couple hundred or a couple thousand miles. And with this truck, I can show you, I can change the exhaust note. Let me show you when I get on the highway. So what I'll do is I'll floor it, and you'll probably hear, you know, this loud, cool V8 exhaust note, but I can put the baffles so that it almost becomes silent, which I think is really cool tech.
Well, don't floor it too much. We're doing an MPG test
I'm
here.
not going to floor it too much, just enough you can, you know, get a sense for this thing. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. I'm flooring it now. All right, now I'm going to switch the exhaust to quiet.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Could you tell that?
So it does quiet it down. I have noticed in quiet mode though, if you're giving it all the beans, it still is pretty loud.
Yeah, if you floor it, it opens up the baffles
because
again.
It needs to flow the air through the system.
Exactly. So I mean, I can floor it, right? And
right.
there you go. You're back into
It wakes up again.
yeah, full GT 500 mode. Now, people may be wondering, how is this thing on the highway? And I got to tell you, I just love trucks on the highway. They're so perfectly built for long distance commuting. You sit up high, the suspension floats over bumps and potholes. You can, use this power to get ahead of traffic if you need to. And the seats in this are Recaros, and they're actually very comfortable, and the seating position is magnificent, right? Look at all the headroom I have. Of course, we don't have a sunroof, but I love the headroom. I love the shoulder room. I love, the abundance of cup holders. And the steering actually is just the right weight. It's not too heavy, and it's not too light. Obviously, this isn't a sports car, so you're probably not going to be carving canyons unless you're in Baja, in which case you might be. But yeah, just sit back, let the truck do all the work. There is one little thing that kind of bugs me, and can you guess what that is?
I don't know. What is it, then?
So $110,000 for the Raptor R, right? Except no Blue Cruise.
Yeah, that would be cool. So that's the level 2 driving assistant from Ford, which is hands-off, but eyes-on. We had it in our Lightning, actually, but not in the F-150 Raptor R, which is some $30,000 more expensive. Very interesting point. A couple other things worth noting, too, is everything you discussed is adjustable. So if you think the steering is too light, you can weight it up with the push of a button. Same thing with the suspension. It's got the active Fox live valve technology. The ride isn't as soft as the Lightning, though. I think that the Lightning had a really squishy, almost like 70s Eldorado ride where you just kind of sail over bumps. This one's a little bit more, a little firmer, a little bit more controlled as well, so it does better in the canyons, but it still is overall very comfortable. It's not crashing, it's not dipping or diving into any of these bumps very weird.
Yeah, I mean, the Lightning also had independent rear suspension, and we're cruising on 37s here, so it's a bit of a apples to oranges comparison.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. But compared to a standard F-150, I think the ride quality is a little bit better, but any F-150 is going to be a great road tripper because you've got buckets and buckets of space in here, good technology, great audio system in this truck, and yeah, overall just a fantastic road tripper. So we're gonna pause the camera here and catch up with you in a couple hundred miles once we're into Utah, and we'll fill you in on some of the information.
All right, and in the meantime, Tom, you think long and hard. It will be better than 12.7 or worse than 12.7. And keep in mind, it's Hemi versus Ford. It's supercharger versus supercharger. It's, top dog truck versus top dog truck.
All right, guys. Well, after a long day, we have made it to beautiful Moab, Utah. We've got these incredible bluffs here, and we're about to go fill up this truck. And Dad, how did the truck do on the road trip?
Yeah, it was fine. It's a very comfortable truck. My only issue is that I had kind of lane centering on, but the truck kept yelling at me to basically grab the wheel because it's using this torque sensor in the wheel, and that gets really frustrating after a while.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the lane setting works great when it works, but then it's always like, make sure you're paying attention, grab the wheel, and you're already holding onto the wheel. It really needs a lot of torque for the computer to realize that you're driving.
Hey, why don't you grab the Monroney and see what we're supposed to be getting for the EPA as I pull into the gas station.
Yeah, sounds good. So this truck is rated at 12 MPG combined, 10 city, 15 highway. The fuel economy and greenhouse gas rating, 1 out of 10. But we're gonna pull into this gas station, fill it up using our 2-click method, and then we're gonna do the math.
Now the truck says that we got 13.2. All right, well, we just filled up, Tommy, and let's see what the pump says versus what the truck says.
So this is the total we drove in between the stations, 285.2 miles. We're going to divide that by 21.112 gallons that we put into the truck. We averaged 13.5 MPG, which is actually better than what the truck had predicted.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it is better than the TRX at 12.7. But then again, this is a full liter less displacement than the Hemi.
Yeah, so pretty interesting that we're getting a little bit better fuel economy, but not as good as our old second-gen Raptor, which had the 3.5, and that EcoBoost on a similar drive route between Colorado and Utah got 16. So kind of right, well, not right between the middle. It's still pretty poor, but what do you guys think in the comment section? Is that better or worse than you expected?
Look, dude, I mean, I don't think this is such a big number for anybody. I think if you can afford this truck, you can afford to fill it up, right? I don't think people who actually are lucky enough to own this thing are, and I'm talking about not like us where we review trucks, but people who actually own it are really too stressed about fuel economy. What do you think?
No, I think if you're paying $110,000 for a supercharged V8 pickup, fuel economy is the last thing on your mind. But now we know the answer. This real-world MPG test, how the truck performed. It was a ton of fun. Big thank you to Sinclair for being our official fuel provider.
Yeah, and check this out. So, of course, this truck has 2 less horsepower than the TRX.
Yep.
Because that has 702. This has 700. But guess what?
Almost 1 MPG better.
Yeah.
0.8.
There you go. As always, you guys have learned a very important lesson today, right? In this TFL video, and that is, if you want more horsepower in a Hemi, go for the TRX, and if you want better fuel economy and an F-150 Raptor R, go for the Ford. But you knew that already.
Well, what more power, Dad? It's 2. It's not like it's a ton more.
It's 2 more, dude.
Yeah, just 2 more. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching a fun, quick, impromptu road trip video. We'll see you on the next episode.